of the series. And hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of StarCraft 2. This is going to be the grand final of the Intel Extreme Masters 2016 in Taipei. This is going to be SOS versus ByuN. We've been casting all day long. I have been casting all day long, rather. It's been probably about 6 or 7 hours at this point. And I'm pretty excited to find out who wins this. I haven't spoiled it for myself, so I'm not going to spoil it for you either, since I honestly don't know the answer. So let's see how this one plays out. So on the top left hand side here, we've got, as the blue Protoss, we've got SOS, and he is from Jin Air Green Wings and South Korea. His opponent is going to be ByuN. ByuN is on the bottom right hand side here as the red Terran. He's on Team X team, and he is also from South Korea. So it looks like both of our players, South Korean. So it's a Korea versus Korea tournament. Final. And let's see how this one plays out. So it looks like a Reaper opening potentially going to be coming out here from ByuN. SOS, on the other hand, starting off with an expansion first. And this is actually quite normal. I wouldn't even be... I mean, ByuN... Oh, okay, he's actually proving me wrong again. ByuN is pretty happy with doing submarine starts, but I thought that in this game, since he started with the early gas, and of course the map being so big, I thought he would actually go for the Reaper. So that is interesting. He's gonna probably go out and scout now, which he is indeed doing. Now he sees there's a probe leaving there. He's going to see that there's no base here and probably assume that this... Nope, he's not assuming anything. Moves out here, sees there's no base, and heads on back, and probably going to scout out his opponent on a second attempt. Second base is now complete for SOS. Now SOS is a seriously successful player in StarCraft 2. He's been doing so well. He's won so many tournaments in the past. I think he's won WCSs and everything back in Heart of the Swarm. So quite interesting to see him here in the final of this tournament. Just scouting out with the Marine. The reason he's here, by the way, is of course to scout if there's any proxies, which he's not finding. Factory about to complete here. So probably going for his very, very light favored 1-1-1 build. He's been doing this quite often. It's definitely interesting to note. Looks like he's going for the Widow Mine. And he's continuously making Marines, so probably going to go for the medevac drop with the Marines. That would be, of course, quite normal. Let's see what's going on inside of SOS's base. Looks like Blink is on the way. He doesn't quite have Warp Gate complete, which is fine. It is on the way. He does have a robotics facility as well. And he's starting off pretty standard but very passive. If you look at the army supplies, got 4 against 18. So at this point, if ByuN was to move out and do an aggressive push, he would very likely actually take out his opponent right here, right now. So he's taking a bit of a risk, which I think is a bit ballsy of him. But look, you gotta do what you gotta do. If he thinks that his opponent's not gonna be aggressive, that could either pay off and he could get some time to build up, or of course it could go the other way and his opponent could become aggressive and at that point pretty much win him the game. Or rather lose the game because of that. So let's see which one it's going to be. 8 supply to 28, still behind. But the worker supply is quite significantly higher, so 50 to 34. So he's obviously gone for a bunch of economy, but much less army supply. Which, you know, if he gets enough time, he will be in a fine position. Now, overcharge being thrown down here, not letting that Widow Mine land, but there is already one burrowed. This is going to be a little bit difficult to deal with up until the point that this... yeah, actually never mind, Observer's already on the way. So by the time that Widow Mine reloads, he'll have plenty of time to clean this up. So the games are pretty slow, it seems, in the last bit of the tournament here. They have all, you know, not extended a little bit longer. I haven't seen too many rushes in this tournament either, and I don't know whether that's a Korean playstyle or whether it's just the way people are. Maybe they're very scared to lose and they play a bit safer. But of course, it's definitely something to keep an eye on, because you know, it can be a bit of a double-edged sword. You know, sometimes some races are better than others late game, and I believe that Zerg is probably the most powerful at the moment, but of course that's personal opinion. And let's see, we've got a Protoss army moving across. Little does he know is that ByuN's army is still a little bit bigger than his. The question is, where is it? There it is. So at the moment, just Marines and a siege tank. Nothing else. And that's actually fine. I mean, it's not a huge problem for him. He's going to be okay. He's got double medevacs coming out. More medevacs. Does have stim on the way also. Once that stim completes, that'll be a nice position for him. Looks like there's a bunker there. So as you can see, he wasn't aware of exactly what his opponent was doing. So what he did essentially was just put up a bunker and just be safe with it. So it looks like we've got a Marauder in this one, a Marauder in that one. So 2 Marauders and a total of 12 Marines being brought out here. Let's see what he manages to pull off with them. This Observer going to be moving in just to do a bit of scouting. Now, if ByuN is very quick, he might snipe it off before it does any sort of serious damage. He does have units here, and of course there is also a missile turret here. Now, I think he's in quite a good position to hold this base. It's not going to be too much of a problem. And just a quick reminder for anybody who is on the stream, rather, this is the final, the grand final. Thank you for joining me. And here we go. Dark Templars are a bit more tricky to use against Terran, because of course Terrans do have that almighty scan ability, and he gets blasted. So that is the end of that Dark Templar. And here we go, Stin Marines and Marauders. Gonna run in here, take out any units that are coming. There is a few units down here, and they're gonna be clean this up if he's not careful. Lifts them up, loses only 1 Marine. And looks like Dark Templars have managed to make it in here. Oh, takes out that missile turret. No more detection until the scan is put down. And there we go. Clean that up. Probably not worth it. I mean, if you think about it, that was 2 Dark Templars for the cost of 7 SCVs. But then again, he also wasted a scan for that. And does he have more scans? Not at the moment. Oh, he does have 1 here. But Dark Templars are a little bit difficult to deal to make, not to make, they're more difficult to attack with the longer the game goes on against Terran, because of course you get yourself a bunch of scan energy, you get yourself missile turrets, and once the you know, there's siege tanks everywhere, it's very difficult to actually avoid getting nuked by those. So army supply is favoring ByuN. We'll see how this one plays out. He's got about 30 army supply lead. So he's in quite a good position, believe it or not. He's got a few Widow Mines. All he needs to do is bait a few of the Protoss units over them, and that could very heavily go in his favor. Now this is the first game of the series. It's the final series of the tournament. And quick announcement for the people watching on YouTube later on. I've started streaming every time that I actually record games. So essentially anytime that I'm available and I'm casting, you would be able to pretty much watch the games in advance. So you'd be able to see them live. And you'd also be able to see them before they're uploaded to YouTube by quite a few days. I've casted, I don't even know how many games at this point. I mean, I did 4 best of 5s at the beginning. Then I did 2 best of 5s. So that's 6 total. And then I'm doing a best of 7 here. So that's, you know, a minimum of about 15 to 20 games so far. Not all of them were best 5 games. Not all of them were 3 games. So yeah. There we go, cleaning this up. Army supply getting evened out. Did put down a bunch of adepts. Oh, hello. A warping going down here. A bunch of adepts. Oh, ghosts getting picked off. Now, ghosts are pretty terrible against Protoss, unless you use them for the shields. So if you're using them to just attack, it's not really going to do you very good. Now, so many of these workers getting destroyed here. 11, 13, 14, 15 SCVs. That is the full mineral line has been destroyed here already. And the Marines getting dropped as well. 15 SCVs. Is he going to bring these down to the natural? No, he is not. It looks like they are getting cleaned up here. Now there is a big engagement going down here. There's a... Oh! Ho, ho, ho. Nice! That was beautiful. Beautiful Psionic Storm. An SOS is going to waste so much of those medevacs energy. Now they still have quite a few, so quite a bit of energy, so they should be fine to heal these units up. But if he was able to follow up with that, that could have went very heavily in his favor. Now, funny enough, level 3 armor and weapons has already been researched for Protoss, and now he's going for shields. It's probably, I would argue that this is the least upgraded upgrade of all StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Nobody gets shields. So, seeing this here definitely means that he is thinking, okay, my units are not strong enough, I need to get them a bit tougher. Let's do just that. So as you can see here, so many workers getting destroyed. 17 SCVs right now have been killed off here. And the SCV supply, 72 to 37. Army supply is favoring ByuN. But at the moment, if SOS essentially throws his units at ByuN and somehow manages to wear down his army, it's going to be a lot harder for ByuN to reinforce his army again. Now that was a huge Widowmine hit. Despite the fact that he's so far ahead on economy, if he loses his army, it could go the other way. It's still anyone's game right now. So let's see. Psionic Storm's going down. Now, I like the use of Psionic Storms. They aren't actually that used anymore. It just seems like whenever somebody makes High Templars, they just convert them to Archons pretty much immediately. But seeing that being used here, very, very inspiring. For those of you out there who think, oh, okay, High Templars, interesting. But do people use them? Appears so. Now these Adepts are in a bit of trouble. They are going to get warped in here, getting stuck behind this wall. Unfortunately, not quite have enough to move out of there. And let's see, we do have a few Tempests here. 4 Tempests in total. What are they going to be able to do? Just pick off units, it seems. Oh, look at all these Widow Mines. He's going to be in a good position to take those out. I mean, Widow Mines don't fire that far. Just a nice reveal here, pretty much showing him exactly what's going on. Now Tempests have a lot of health, so even if they absorb 1 or 2 Widow Mines, they should actually be fine. I love how it shows their range, because they're like a siege unit. Now second army moving out here for ByuN. His worker supply is starting to even out just a little bit. He does have his third base on the way here. So I think that he should probably be fine here. He just needs to not lose his army straight out. If he does that, then that could of course turn the other way. But looking at this army engagement, it does look like the Marine Marauder is causing a bit of trouble for him. And here we go, this engagement on the left hand side here, spotting that base. Gonna probably manage to snipe that off. Not a whole lot that he can do. Not a lot that SOS can do to stop this. Oh, wow. Seems like Tempest is so useless versus bio units. They just take so long to do anything, and there we go, the engagement on this side as well. So many of those units. Honestly, Psionic Storms is so underused in Terran versus Protoss. Like that right there is so much damage. Absolutely crazy. So let's see what he's going to manage to pull off here. So many Tempests on the field. I mean, that is a total of 10. 10, that's correct. He's getting himself level 2 weapons as well. I believe that's level 2. Yes, it is. Oh, there is carriers on the field. He's building 3 at a time. I didn't even notice this. SOS, thank you so much for providing us with this awesome game. But that is sick. I was complaining all the time that there's no longer any huge amounts of air superiority games, but here you go. We've got an SOS game here, which is the grand finals of a tournament, and he's using carriers and tempests. Beautiful, beautiful. It brings a tear to my eye. Let's see. It's got a 132 to 133 supply, very even. Pretty much maxed out for SOS, but ByuN still has space for more units. That's simply because he doesn't have as many workers. Now I assume if you're still here at this point, 18 minutes into the game, you're probably enjoying it, somewhat. I hope so anyways. Unless you just got this in the background and you're just, I don't know, making toast somewhere. If you do, of course, don't forget to leave the video a thumbs up. If you're on stream, you can leave the stream a thumbs up, which also helps equally. Let's see how this game ends. 18 minutes in, we got carriers, we got tempests, we got marines and marauders, and of course we got a bunch of medevacs. And this base looks like it might get denied. He might sacrifice these units, but he will probably get that base. Or will he? Nope, probably not. I think he focused down the buildings here a bit too much, and that kind of cost him the engagement. Now Marines, how upgraded are they? They don't even have level 3 shields. I think this is a big mistake here from ByuN. He needs to get maxed out upgrades. I mean, it's 19 minutes into the game. At this point, you should be maxed out pretty much on everything. Not only just supply, but you should be upgrades and everything completed. And honestly, I don't know how he's going to deal with this many carriers. I mean, realistically, he can kite those carriers for quite some time. Because, of course, he does have Marines with medevacs behind him, so he could infinitely stim and kite, since the medevacs have so much energy. $128 to 137. Level 3 weapons on the way, and I believe that's level 2. Is it? No, level 1. And there we go, managing to deny another base here. I don't think there's nothing coming for it, so definitely going to manage to snipe this off. that is the end of that. Imagine to kill off a few probes as well. This Marine is like, yeah, I'm just gonna stand here. I'm too cool to attack, so I'll just, you know, sit here and, you know, why not? So let's see. Oh, it looks like a base trade, but the question is gonna be, is he gonna continue on here, or is he gonna stop? Because it doesn't look like SOS is interested in stopping this attack anytime soon. I need to zoom out even more because this army is so huge. He still hasn't killed off this base, but just I want to check if he's seen it. He has indeed. So he knows about it. And he's going to start nuking away at this base. And honestly, I don't think he's got enough of an army. ByuN doesn't have enough of an army to actually counterattack this. I think this is pretty much over here. SOS with the carriers and Tempests. Please do another game like this in this next few games with this best of 7. That would be so awesome. Denied. And GG. Here we go, finally. GG has been called here from ByuN. And SOS takes the first game of the series, bringing this up to 1-0 and, of course, taking the lead. Very well played here, and a big surprise to see carriers and Tempests. And that is it for the first game of our grand final here. Hope you have enjoyed this. The SOS, carriers and Tempest play. Absolutely beautiful. I cannot believe he actually did that and got away with it. Absolutely beautiful, and I hope to see more of this in the rest of this series. Hope you've enjoyed this. Of course, leave it a thumbs up. It is the grand finals. I think it deserves it, and I will see you guys in the next game.